My name is George Duke. I'm a keyboard player, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I actually started playing when I was around 7 years old. My mom took me to see Duke Ellington when I was 4 years old. It kind of messed me up. You know, he was doing something with his hands, which I found out later. He was playing the piano. And he was, every now and then he'd wave, and he was conducting, and magic would happen. Something just like, yep, da, 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 da. And I was like, wow. As 4 years old, I mean, this was like an amazing event. And the guy's name was Duke. So that's kind of what set me on my path. I told my mom, I said, I want to do that. Well, solo albums is probably 39 or 40. Productions, I don't know, probably 3 times, 4 times that much. And records I played on, it's in the thousands. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I actually can't answer it. Like, I used to go to the Fillmore West, and, you know, and I could see, you know, when I went there to watch, I could see Miles Davis, Country Joe and the Fish, Santana, all in the same show. Well, that's 3 different styles of music, you know? And so, and when I was playing there, I might be backstage running to somebody, like the Steve Miller Blues Band or something, and Steve would come up and say, hey man, I like the way you play. Why don't you come play on my record? We're having a session tonight after the gig. I'd go by and play. You know, that started a whole, and that's a true story. That kind of stuff started the whole fusion movement and this whole thing of musicians cross-pollinating and doing that kind of thing. And I think that's what made that music special, is because musicians played at the same time, for one thing, and they got a chance to play each other's music. I mean, we didn't all come from the same tradition, stylistically, and that made that interesting. Plus, the instruments were interesting. They were all, most of the instruments were analog, not digital. Now now they've made digital where you can kind of get to the same kind of area, but analog had a special kind of noise, special kind of attitude, musical attitude. And I think that's what made this stuff so special. And every Fender Rhodes didn't sound the same. Every Wurlitzer didn't sound the same. Every clavinet didn't sound the same. And that's what made that stuff special. And that was important, is that whatever you did not sound like everybody else. I mean, that was a point when I can remember that what I was deliberately trying to figure out what was going to make me different from Herbie Hancock, for example, or Jan Hammer, who played synthesizer, or Chick Corea. Those guys, even though those guys are older than me. So I listened to them. They're very interesting cats, man, and could really play. So I knew that I couldn't quite play like Herbie, because Herbie had a thing, you know, and Chick Corea, man, he was fast and played all. You know, I had to find something that was going to be me. So you know what it was, man? For me, it was playing that Grease. It was that Grease, that more funk, soulful kind of playing that Chick didn't really do, and Herbie had a little different take on it. Mine came more out of the church gospel feeling, and that's kind of what I brought into jazz at that time. I love the stuff that Ice Cube did. You know, I thought that was great. I mean, they took one of my tracks, man, and that stuff, it was still funky. It was cool. Most of the stuff that the guys have done, I really like a lot. The stuff that Kanye has done, I like, you know, that his producers have done, and all that stuff. No problem at all. I got no problem with them using the stuff. Once it's out and I'm finished with it, I'm finished with it. I put it out, I put my take on it. I think it's interesting to see what some of these guys have done with this material. It's something that I never would have thought of, most of them. I'm like, and they use the strangest samples. You know, that's what made it interesting about doing this project, because I was trying to figure out exactly what to play. And eventually I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna play, because you never know what these guys may want to use. And so I just let my mind just go. And I mean, I played for hours in here, just playing. Okay, keep the tape rolling, just playing, you know, and whatever came out, that's what came out. The manipulation of the samples, being able to do what you want. I'm telling you, I can't even remember when I sat in a room and played that much keyboards at one time. I mean, one time I was in here 8, 9, 10 hours. That's heavy. That's longer than any concert I've ever played. I mean, without a break, just sitting in here, just playing. And you get into a little groove that way. My mind, you know, sometimes I don't know where I was, in Hawaii or something. But sometimes interesting things come out when you're not thinking about, well, I need to play this or play that. You just kind of just emoting. Yeah, I just did whatever came in my mind. It had nothing to do with trying to play to a track. I mean, I was just playing licks, whatever the groove felt like I should be doing at the time. And I think that's what makes it special, because it may even be something that I might not even play on a record, you know. And there's some other special moments too that I think you would not find on a record. And I'll leave that for them to discover. A couple of times, I didn't keep it simple. I mean, I went a little jazzy, and then put some of those voicings that some of those, what I call them, those Herbie Hancock kind of voicings, the ones that are out there somewhere, you know. And I'd like to see what they make of that.
Hey, motherfuckers! Oh shit! Oh fuck! I didn't do it like that. Whoops! Oh shit! My bad. Yo. Hey, we just gonna be simple, man. My name Boris, aka Boris the motherfucking Beast. And I wanted to give that whole motherfucking time frame so we can pay some motherfucking respect to the motherfucking legend George Duke. Now, when I went through and made this track, I didn't know who George Duke was. I'm not gonna front, you know what I'm saying? And after I made it, like I made this track back in September. And after I made it, I was gonna go like look him up and like, you know what I mean? Like try to do my due diligence and shit. Then when I seen motherfuckers with the rest in peace shit, I'm like, fuck, man, like, damn. Cause I feel I came up with some shit. And so ironically, I run across this video of him talking about it. Like when I first went to go use, like, cause I got the whole complete bundle, I was just thinking that like George Duke shit, like I didn't know what I was thinking. I just knew I wanted to go over there to use that plugin because it was there, and I'm not gonna just not use my shit, you know. And so I came up with this trippy ass track, man. It's called Just Like Magic Bop. You'll see the motherfucking thumbnail at the end. But what I wanted to point out during this video is that you get to see how he got his initial spark in terms of loving music, on where his mom took him to that Duke Ellington concert, you know what I mean? And he's seen him playing it, and boom. Another key point I like in this too is that when he said how the collaborations happened, the cross-pollinations between different artists, you know what I mean? Like I was fucking with that heavy because he said he'd be playing it, and at the end they'd be like, hey man, you know, I like the way you play, come play a jam with us. And he said the aspect of playing each other's music obviously it's going to make you grow. Like shout out to the homie Napu Beats. You can follow us on Producer Thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But that's my producer homie that we've cross-pollinated. We made a track, it's already out, it's called Straight Out. We got another track coming out, it's called Tap In. And what's dope about it is that like when we're sending the track back and forth to each other to work on it, you get to see what's their flavor, and then you, in contrast, you see what your own flavor is, you know? And so when it comes to this track, man, like it was like when I was watching him, when he said the point where he said that he just went in there and just played for hours, right? And then he talked about finding that groove. And if you could watch the latest chop up, the latest cook up sessions that I've been doing, I really ain't been in my groove, you know what I mean? And it's so funny though, because he pointed out that during one of the sessions on there, he said he stayed in there for 8 to 9 hours just playing different keyboards. And so it made me think to myself, like, okay, when you force yourself into that position and you move past that autonomic nervous system or whatever the fuck, to where you said you're not thinking. And that's obviously, we all know, motherfuckers been talking about it, niggas, so we know, niggas, the flow state. And so it really made me trip out, like, okay, because I made this beat on a random. This beat that I made, Just Like Magic, this track was made on a random. So it was no recording, no nothing, you know what I'm saying? So then the battle sometimes is, and like I even made it on one of the lessons. That's why this song is just now coming out, but the lessons that I learned from making this song are involved in the latest cook-up sessions, because the fact of just putting the melody down, the fact of the time I had a song in my head, and then I was like, ooh, let me set up the equipment. And by the time I set up the equipment, I forgot the damn song and melody. Whereas like, it's better to just get the damn melody down real quick, and then boom. So when it comes to this, it's like, okay, he put himself in flow state. I have a similar experience where when I went to the high school, I had to switch high schools on my senior year. And so I didn't really blend in with motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So I sat by the stairs on every lunch and I just freestyled. Now, what I've learned was that since I was freestyling for 30 minutes every single day, that it gets to a point where you just freestyle and it's so effortless. You're not thinking. You're just, and time don't exist. You're just like in limbo, like in that time-space continuum. You know what I'm saying? So I know what that feeling feels like, rapping and freestyling. So if he did that with his hands, you know what I mean? And he said he put like little extra little things in there where the shit would say 90 BPM, but he's playing at 89. Like, I love when people are so passionate about what the fuck they love to do. And you can tell this, he goes in like about the different Wurlitzers and the noise and the analog hiss and all this shit. And like, you know that they passionate about it. Like, ain't no faking the funk on that shit. So the main thing, man, like it was, you know, that shit did bring a tear to my eye, because it was like I felt like I made a dope ass track, and it's like, dang, like all I want to do is just pay homage to the people that did it. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he was like, hey, once I did it and put it out to the world and anybody can use it, it's whatever. And I'm like, man, it'll be dope. It would be dope. Like, you know, one day when I reach and purgate my damn self, if he come up to me and be like, hey, nigga, I heard your track, homie. I like what you did with it, because I would have never came up with it. And be like, yeah, nigga, like, you know what I mean? That'd be a little boop, 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 boop. But, yeah, it's just some off the top of the head ass shit, man. That's what I do. But, hopefully y'all like the track. And then y'all following along with the Dark Days series, man. Every Wednesday I drop a new real ass motherfucking, just a real ass motherfucking talk, just telling motherfuckers how to get through depression and giving my story and how I got through it and how I crawled my way out of it, and how my album is a representation of me creating a musical map for me to get out of depression. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's route is different, but I just feel if I offer my tools on what I use, then it can help somebody else in the world. Don't feel ashamed. Everybody can go through it, and I really feel that everybody will go through a certain point of depression in your life, because life is about ups and downs, man. And the thing is that I really feel just like how they told me when I was on my motorcycle, there's two kinds of riders. Either you've been down or you're gonna go down. And I kind of look at like life's depression in that same way. It's like you either been depressed or you're gonna get depressed. And my thing is that since it's a natural progression as humans, but we all tend to shy away from saying this conversation, I'm just saying that it's not as abnormal as you think. Other people go through it. I'm a witness to say that you can get through it. Every day is a motherfucking testament to yourself that you're stronger than what you think. So shout out to George Duke. Rest in peace to a legend, you know what I'm saying? And just take that essence. Like when you watch that video, I wanted to show all that in that video on purpose, because I want y'all to be able to see the essence of somebody at like, that's contentment, like pure fucking joy for life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that like real shit, like your life is simple as fuck. Like if you break his shit down, it'd be like, hey George, if you had to go to an island and we only can give you fucking 3 items to take with you, what would it be? You think he'll probably take 3 different keyboards, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I gotta take my Whirly, gotta take my Rhodes, and I gotta take my motherfucking Borzendorfer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, just to know that, like, we all have that. For me, it's my laptop. If I got my laptop and I got a PlayStation, then I can go anywhere, because I could create music and I could play games. And with the laptop, I got internet connection. Like, you know what I mean? So, what's that thing for you? And tap into that shit, man. Like, there's greatness that needs to be uncovered. Like, get the soot off your life. You know what I'm talking about? So, as long as you know, as long as you're still breathing, you have an opportunity to keep grinding and keep shining. So just breathe in and appreciate this motherfucking life we got. You know what I'm saying? Every breath you take, every step you take, and as long as you're above ground, that's a blessing, because you got the opportunity to change some shit. You know what I'm talking about? So y'all motherfuckers be dope. Y'all stay blessed. And peace, love, and chicken grease, bitch!